Looking back on Rodeo Austin in Austin, Texas, and pretty big win for breakaway roper Tacy Webb, who joins us. Tacy, congratulations on Austin 2-2 in the championship round. They crowned the champion on 3 head in the average, and you did what you needed to do.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Tell me about roping in Austin. There were some fast times. Danielle Lohman was 1-5 in one of the previous rounds. The D-Lo show keeps rolling. Tell me about the setup there and about the cattle in Austin.
Yes, sir. Really, whenever I roped in my set, I knew that the average was pretty wide open. I don't consider myself a Danielle Lohman. I wish I was. She's amazing. But I do look at myself as more of like an average roper. I usually can, usually get my calves knocked down. And so when I went in and I saw the average was easy, I just kind of wanted to make the best runs I could on the cattle that I drew. And so I maybe took a little bit more conservative approach in the first 2 rounds, but then the short round, I kind of went for it a little bit harder. So
where were you in the draw in the short round? Were you toward the top or were you toward the bottom, so that you kind of knew what you needed? Taylor Munsell was right behind you with a 2-3, and then Shelby Beaujolais with a 2-9. Where were you in the draw in the short round?
Yeah, so I was actually right between them. It was Taylor Munsell went, and then Sarah Angeloni went, and then I was right after her. And so when I saw that, a couple of people had broken barriers and had missed, I kind of was like, all right, I just need to get this calf down, and I need to just get a clean time. And so it kind of worked out. The calves that they picked for the short round ended up being a little bit stronger. So I knew that I still had to push the barrier, but I did safety up just a touch. So it worked out, though.
Did you know your calf? Was it one that somebody had been good on previously?
So I'm not going to lie. I actually did not like my calf that much. Josie Connor ran that calf and she was pretty long on it. She kind of did the same thing though, kind of safetied up in her bracket, trying to make it back like I did. And so I knew I needed to take a little bit more of an aggressive start, but he was pretty strong. But like I said, most of the calves that we roped ended up being pretty strong. And so I'm just really thankful he went good and straight for me. And he ended up being a good calf for me because I didn't think he was going to be that good.
Got it. Tacy, tell me about Austin from the standpoint of where does this one fit on your list of big rodeo wins?
Yes, sir. It's up there pretty good. I've been really lucky. I have got a couple of pro rodeo wins under my belt. I won Kennewick, Washington, the year I got to rodeo, and that was kind of the same setup. I roped. It was kind of an average roping, and so I did good there. And one of my most favorite wins that I've ever had is the win at Salt Lake City when I won the gold medal. And so it's really hard to top that one, but Austin was definitely super cool. It's right here close to home. I had friends and family there, and so getting the win there was really, really special.
Let me ask you a little bit about your story. Folks who watch rodeos that you're entered in on, whether they're in the arena or watching on the Cowboy Channel, literally every rodeo announcer says that you're an ICU nurse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's wonderful. I can guarantee you every rodeo you enter that I'm announcing, the crowd will know that you're an ICU nurse.
I love it.
It's part of your story.
It is.
Talk to me about balancing your nursing career with roping and just kind of take me through that whole story.
Yeah, so I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a nurse. And Zach and I were just talking about this the other day. When we were growing up, there wasn't all of these kids rodeos. There wasn't, a lot of junior events for us to go to. And so, basically after high school and college, that was kind of it. And so I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a nurse. So I college rodeoed and I pursued my nursing career. And then they decided to add the Breakaway into pro rodeos. And so I had just graduated and just got my job as an ICU nurse. And so I started working and then started entering and going to rodeos. And so my schedule allowed me to enter and go. And so people ask me that all the time. They're like, how do you be a nurse and rodeo? I'm like, well, really with nursing, you can work as much as you want. It just depends on how much you want to get paid. And so I try to balance them both. And I have some really amazing coworkers that trade with me a lot. And so the year I did get to rodeo, I did fly back and forth all summer and I also worked. And so it's a lot to handle at times, but it makes it interesting.
Is that going to be what happens this year? Do you think you're in the top 20 in the world standings now? You have to think ahead and plan and know when you're going to be flying someplace, when you're going to be driving someplace, when you're going to be working? How do you balance
It's a
all
lot.
that?
So my work schedule scheduled about 6 to 9 weeks in advance, and so I am a very dedicated scheduler. But I did tell them in Austin this year I decided to this my goal from the beginning when I became a nurse was I wanted to end up being a CRNA, which is a certified registered nurse anesthetist. It's basically like the anesthesiologist. You have to be an ICU nurse for at least 2 years before they even look at you for accepting you into school. And so I am finally setting that aside this year. I got to go rodeo in 2022, like pretty hard, and came real close to making the finals. And so I'm so glad that I got to do that and pursue that, because now I'm going to pursue the CRNA. And so rodeo will kind of be put on the back burner for a little bit, which it makes me really sad because I am having a really good year this year. I really just circuit rodeoed last year. I didn't really go hardly at all and ended up making the circuit finals. And so I did have a pretty good winner from getting to do that. But I'm going to focus on school and set myself up for the rest of my life to be pretty good.
Got it. Tacy, let me ask you about the room that you are in. For folks that are watching the video of, there's a whole lot of back numbers and a whole lot of awards, and that is a testament to your family. Tell me about the family background.
Yes, I know we talked about this room having the best lighting, but it did happen to have this. This is my dad's, I guess you could say, trophy room. My parents, I definitely come from a rodeo background. My dad made the finals 8 times in the calf roping back in the 70s and the 80s. You could probably see on his back numbers, he got to go to both places in Oklahoma, and then he ended up going to Las Vegas. So he kind of got to go through like the history behind the NFR and where it moved and where it was. And then that's how he met my mom. My mom was Miss Rodeo Texas, and then whenever she was first runner up for Miss Rodeo America, she ended up working for Dodge, and so that's kind of how they dated and met and got to be around at all the same rodeos together. And so I definitely have a very big rodeo background, and my parents are always there, and they love and support me through everything I do and love to keep up with me. So
your dad having done that, gone from the NFR in Oklahoma City to the NFR in Las Vegas, seeing the money bump up significantly when that move was made in 1985 to Las Vegas. I wonder, as he watches everything that is happening for breakaway ropers now and all of the opportunities and all of the money. I just got done talking to Chris Neal about that $1 million breakaway roping that's going to happen Thanksgiving weekend. I have a funny feeling you'll be there in Scottsdale, Arizona.
I'm so sad. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I'm actually only getting to go to the select rodeos that I've been going to because I'm online until the summer with my school. But then after the summer, I will be moving and I will be going in person and interacting in the hospital setting. So I'm going to be really sad if I can't go. But what an awesome event.
Yeah. Your dad must have some thoughts about how much breakaway roping has grown and the opportunities y'all have.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because, my whole life I've heard his rodeo stories and listened to, all of his big wins and stuff like that. And so getting to it's almost like he's reliving it through me. My older brother ended up never rodeoing. He actually is a pilot and flies airplanes. So pretty much the total opposite. And so he kind of gets to live his rodeo life through me again. And it's really cool because I'll be like, yeah, Dad, pulling up to Greeley, and he'll be like, oh yeah, I won that rodeo this year and that year. And I'm like, okay. And so it's kind of like I look up to him, but he also gets to live through me a little bit and kind of bring back all those good memories. So it's really fun.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of fun for all of you in the process. Tell me about your horse, Tacy. You ride a horse. You've kind of, the two of you grew up together, it sounds like.
Yes, sir. My horse is so special to me. He means so much to me. I love getting to talk about him. I actually bought him when he was 3 years old. I didn't pay that much for him at all. And when I got him, he was not broke at all, barely could do anything. And so my dad kind of helped me with him. And I think that's what makes him more special is he's kind of one of the first ones that me and my dad got to work on and train together. And so I was a kid, I was young and learning, and so was he. And so the fact that we grew up together and he helped me become the roper I am in high school and college and now in the pro rodeos, it's really, really special. He means so much to me.
Awesome. Tacy, congratulations on the win in Austin. You said that it was kind of close to home for you, so that must make it a little bit even more special.
Yes, sir. Whenever I talk about going back to CRNA school, people are like, well, you're still going to rodeos. And I'm like, I know, but thankfully I live in a really good spot that I haven't had to go further than 3 hours. And usually when I do, it's because I'm entered with Zach. And so he drives and I study. And that's the only way I've been able to make it work. So
yeah, good for you. Continued success. Good luck in school. That's a lot of work.
yes, sir.
How long does it take to get through that program?
Yes, sir. So it's a doctorate program now. So it's 3 years. So I will be doing the first 6 months here at home, and then I will be doing the other in person for the next 2.5 years. And they actually make you quit your job and everything. So it's very intense. I will be in the books for sure.
I got it. Tacy Webb, I appreciate your time. We look forward to seeing you at the rodeos where you have the opportunity to go, and the rest of it, you're planning the rest of your life, and best wishes.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Austin's champion breakaway roper, Tacy Kay Webb.